Next is ADHD and Crime, and this is the school to prison pipeline. 40%, it's known fact, 40% of kids in youth offending institutions have ADHD. You heard earlier, we have a very solid number of 25% of people in the prisons have ADHD, which obviously way above what we'd expect proportionally, and a lot of anecdotal evidence suggesting it's much, much higher. It's no surprise people get failed in education and fall into crime. And Dr. Neil Alexander-Passe, who is neurodivergent, he's written a book, ADHD and Crime, investigating the school to prison pipeline. He's discussing, he started his experience as the school's SENDCO. He's then been running some innovative projects to support young people, support people with ADHD in schools. He's going to talk about the challenges and the awareness of undiagnosed people. It's a big deal, it's a big topic. He very kindly pre-recorded this yesterday, and that's because he's at a religious celebration today. So I'm going to play that now. You've got to wish me luck, because for people who are earlier, we know we had some exciting challenges around video technology, which I'm hoping I've done some good jobs on fixing.
Hello. And I am very excited to give this talk today at the Global ADHD Conference. This is a new book called ADHD and Crime, which is just come out, available on Amazon, and I am here to tell you about it. Let's work out. Okay, about me. I am London, UK based. I'm dyslexic myself. I'm a graphic designer, my first degree. About 12 years ago, I retrained to be a secondary school teacher. Really looking to work in the field of special needs. For the last 9 years, I've been a SENDCO, so that is a special needs manager within schools, and I have just joined a sixth form college as a exam access assessor, which is really great, as it is allowing me to give the more time or rest breaks or various support needed for sixth form 16 plus students to really do well in their studies. I'm also a expert for the Department of Education. For my 50th, I'm 56 now, I gained my PhD, and it was in dyslexia, school-based trauma and post-school success, and I'm a researcher and author of 15 books on dyslexia, mental health and success. Let's see if this will move on. So here are some of my books. They are all available on Amazon, and it really is mirroring my own life as someone with neurodiverse needs. So you will see here a lot of these are on mental and health, and also surviving as a dyslexic through a school, through getting married, being a parent, and really the books to the bottom are some fiction I was working on. All of these are available. A fascinating one on the top right is looking at dating, marriage, and parenthood. This is based on a new book series on crime. So the first one was dyslexia, neurodiversity and crime. came out in 2023, and the latest book on ADHD and Crime came out in June, so it's fairly new. And I've just written these latest one on autism and crime. So it really is looking at and obviously different sides of school from a school view, and really it is all about the school to prison pipeline. How what happens in a school can lead to people with neurodiverse needs falling into the wrong crowd, and therefore, and obviously crime follows that. Also, it's very much about, as a school leader myself, what is it that we're doing in school that either supports a neurodiverse learner doing well, or it is creating more, and obviously, barriers. And with dyslexia, it is, in summary, I guess, it is kids who are struggling with their reading, writing, are being blamed being lazy, and therefore they're put into the lower sets, and therefore that leads to them falling in with the wrong crowd. With the ADHD, it's very much about kids being perceived to be naughty, and therefore blamed, and therefore just dealt fairly severely by the school policies regarding behavior. With the autism, it is quite strange because it's the meltdowns. The meltdowns are being blamed. The meltdowns are caused by the school not supporting them, so therefore the child has a meltdown, and therefore when the child has a meltdown and lashes out sometimes in a blind panic, then being blamed for the property damage and violence on others, on a very unconscious reaction. So why the book? Okay, so I began working in a secondary school in North London. It was a boys' school, and post-COVID, there was a huge rise in the number of students with ADHD, privately tested, and also series on crime. So the first one was Dyslexia, Neurodiversity and Crime, came out in 2023, and the latest book on ADHD and Crime came out in June, so it's fairly new. And I've just written these latest one on autism and crime. So it really is looking at and obviously different sides of school from a school view, and really it is all about the school to prison pipeline. How what happens in a school can lead to people with neurodiverse needs falling into the wrong crowd, and therefore, and obviously, crime follows that. Also, it's very much about, as a school leader myself, what is it that we're doing in school that either supports a neurodiverse learner doing well, or it is creating more, and obviously, barriers. And with dyslexia, it is, in summary, I guess, it is kids who are struggling with their reading, writing, are being blamed being lazy, and therefore they're put into the lower sets, and therefore that leads to them falling in with the wrong crowd. With the ADHD, it's very much about kids being perceived to be naughty, and therefore blamed, and therefore just dealt fairly severely by the school policies regarding behavior. With the autism, it is quite strange because it's the meltdowns. The meltdowns are being blamed. The meltdowns are caused by the school not supporting them, so therefore the child has a meltdown, and therefore when the child has a meltdown and lashes out sometimes in a blind panic, then just them being blamed for the property damage and violence on the others, on a very unconscious reaction. So why the book? Okay, so I began working in a secondary school in North London. It was a boys' school, and post-COVID, there was a huge rise in the number of students with ADHD, privately tested, and also referrals to NMC CAMS. I was quite busy, and I knew just what NMC screeners should be used for CAMS. And I could see that these kids were falling foul of the school behavior policy, gaining a lot of negatives, and sent to the local PRU, pupil referral unit. There was a lack of skill and awareness about ADHD within these teaching staff, and they weren't really sure what to do, and parents were choosing to not medicate, relying on the school to severe ADHD kids, but without any form of treatment, and the parents were blaming the school for not supporting their choice to not medicate. Now, I'm not someone that will say that you should medicate your child, but so you choose to not, then really you should be supporting them in another way so that they can cope. So I did something positive. I worked with Addis, which was a charity in North London, with the amazing Andrea Bilbao, and I found a pot of money, and we got ADHD mentors to come into the school, specialised NMC staff, either pick people with ADHD themselves or NMC parents of kids with ADHD. Parent courses, parent NMC help alliance, staff training, and a free fidget toy for every student with either ADHD or NMC autism. And the results were amazing. It completely changed the school. There was a decrease of negatives and referrals to the PRU, and an increase supportive training of staff. Staff learned about medication and why it's used, and and also the negatives to it. Parents felt listened to, the students felt listened to, and it was a much kinder place to be. And then we gained more, and obviously funding for a second year for the project. There are a lot of challenges in school, and the book talks about these. Teachers perceive ADHD kids being naughty and dangerous. It's all the impulsive traits they will show, and they weren't really asking why, because there isn't time for that. They are juggling a class of 30 kids. It's not really well known what is the cause of ADHD, and that is the dopamine deficit. So without that, this child is in shock. So what is ADHD? Well, it's a dopamine deficit. Dopamine is the pleasure giving drug within the body. It's normally created in a natural way. So a child, you or I, just might not have an ADHD. So a chocolate bar or a nice apple could give us pleasure. For a child with ADHD, that's not going to work. They will need sport. They will need adrenaline just going through their veins. So a run or a fight or a argument could be that for them, and that gives them far more pleasure. It's altered processing difficulty. So that means that to try and decide what are things to do first, and to organize their studies, and to try and break down tasks, is a processing task. Say that you struggle with that, then you will really have a hard time. A week I saw on Facebook a really lovely analogy. Here is a pen, a biro. It's got one lead there with ink, or tube with ink. Now imagine, so it's quite easy for someone to use it to write. Imagine those pens where there is like seven inks there, and you are choosing which one to use. Now this is what someone with ADHD struggles with. Is because they're trying, that in their brain there are voices telling them to do things. Their brains racing, and so rather than getting out one ink to write, they're pressing on all of them together, and therefore it gets jammed. So you can't write, and this is these processing difficulty. There's too much going on, and therefore nothing's done. There are three subtypes. You've got hyperactive and the impulsive subtype. You've got the attentional subtype, and the combined, the two above. So there are three subtypes, and subject to the subtype, you will treat it in different ways. So a problem is also the school just and obviously behavioural policies. Class sizes are growing, the demands on teachers growing, and then the school wants them to sit down, you know, to sit down and be so called normal. No one's normal. It's causing kids with ADHD to feel trapped like a caged lion. All these rules of what you should do and shouldn't do, of sitting down and sitting up and not moving and not playing with your pen. Yeah, all these rules are really obviously difficult, and that causes them to just feel like a trapped lion. So the study began with a online survey, just with various Facebook groups, ADHD Facebook groups, and there are a lot. It's asked and obviously how they were diagnosed, how they were treated in school, and why they and how they were drawn into obviously crime. Some of them had gone to prison, but mainly low level crime, just not being caught. A lot filled it out, and obviously 25 were then interviewed by myself for the book. There are no quotes from them, but really it was to confirm the themes I was talking about. Results are huge. So it was about medication, the traits showing up. 71% of the group lacked focus, 65% had poor time management, impulsivity, lack of motivation, poor self-image, relationship and obviously difficulties. 63% had been offered medication, but 45% of that group carried on taking it. A lot medicated for their ADHD. A lot felt blamed by their school and for doing things out of their control. 32% of the sample had been spoken to by the police between the ages of 12 to 18 years old, 7% in obviously primary school, and 10% between the ages of 19 and 30. The type of drugs they were involved with were drugs, stealing, driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, violence towards property, and violence towards others. And the book talks about several themes. So the need for early screening, fast and obviously diagnosis. 54% of my sample were obviously diagnosed from 30 years old and up. It's 30 to 45. Sorry for the typo. And 25% between 19 and 30. So a lot were not seen at school, and that is quite telling for me. We need to change the narrative of teachers seeing a child being perceived to be naughty and then blaming them for that, rather than obviously asking why are they obviously doing it. In fact, what is it that the teacher isn't doing? They're not engaging the learner. They're not thinking about their needs, and therefore this is going to be some fairly difficult chats with the teacher, because the way that they are teaching isn't supporting all the learners in their classroom, and that is required. They are required under the quality first teaching framework to be the main teacher for every learner within their classroom. They're not doing that. The third point are the school behavior policies. They're very strict, and they are there to control. School is more like a prison. It is a form of control on everything that they do at that time. All the doors are locked. So in some schools, toilets are locked. They must sit in a class in a certain way. So some schools that you need to be silent walking around. Okay, everything is about control, and it's through that control that schools can really cope. But kids with ADHD, they feel like a caged lion with all these rules. They need physical movement. They need to develop their own adrenaline building activities. So rather than saying sit in your chair for the next 45 minutes, allow them to go for a run before the lesson, and then they will come in with a natural level of dopamine. There were also problems. Say that the child takes the medication, they will feel numbed by it, and therefore many take like a high caffeine drink to deal with feeling numb, and so the caffeine drinks gives them that buzz, but the caffeine drink is giving them that dopamine high, and following that you will have a low, and therefore some kids are taking 3 or 4 of these caffeine drinks a day, and they're going high low, and they're just bouncing throughout the day. So in summary, a lot of kids with ADHD, they feel rejected and misunderstood by the adults that should be the experts. Could be the parents, could be teachers, or school leaders. So they feel that everyone is against them, and that sort of thing drives them to do things. Crime is a choice, and they're choosing to get their own back, really. So the way that we tackle this is to try to break the school to prison pipeline, and that is changing how we in school support kids with ADHD. we need to get them diagnosed earlier, and for that to obviously happen, we need to raise the level of awareness through really training. So to break the school to prison pipeline, we need to obviously assess kids earlier. We need to treat them earlier, and therefore they will gain through the medication. Say you choose to really take it, that obviously constant level of obviously dopamine drug, so that they can sit down in lessons and do well. I've seen kids who are taking ADHD medication who are doing so well in their obviously school. They're gaining GCSEs, they're gaining A levels, they're going to uni. They are attaining their really obviously potential. And I've seen kids where the parents have chosen to not give the medication, and that's fine. It is their obviously choice as parents. But these kids are obviously struggling. They're getting into trouble a lot. They're falling out of school. They are being sent to the PRUs. Crazy thing is that the government stats last year have shown that 0.5% of the population are being given ADHD medication. Say that they can find it. 0.5%. Okay. However, these stats are suggesting that the prevalence of ADHD is 4.5 to 5%. So therefore, you've got a lot of people who are not getting the medication they need, and they are being unfairly blamed. So these stats also say that that there are more adults now receiving ADHD medication than the young people. Again, it's a shocker. These kids need it. They need to be assessed and to be diagnosed and to be supported. Okay, so we need to break this pipeline, and we have to stop our young people falling into drug and gang and obviously culture. So there's a new book coming out next month on ADHD and obviously addiction, and next year should be the book on ADHD, autism and crime. All these books you can find on Amazon, and there should be an obviously audio version coming out soon. Thank you for your time.